Here is the liver. If we take this part of the liver and magnify this part of the liver, we can see this type of the structure. Within this structure, we can see there is a central vein, and surrounding the central vein there is the lobule. This is known as the hepatic lobule. There is one hepatic lobule, there is another hepatic lobule, there is another hepatic lobule, there is another hepatic lobule. This hepatic lobule has the central vein, and the periphery there are some triads. This is known as the portal triads. Here we can see in close view, here we can see there is an artery, there is a vein, and there is a bile duct in the triad. Here we can see it very clearly. This part of this lobule is taken here. Here we see the central vein. From the central vein there are some hepatocytes, and this area there is the triad of the liver, that is the portal triad. Here we see the hepatic artery, portal vein, and the bile duct. This liver has the hepatocyte. This hepatocyte is held in these lobules through some connective tissues. These are the stroma, and this hepatocyte are the parenchyma, and the vein that connect the central vein to the hepatic vein, to the portal vein. This is known as the sinusoids, the hepatic sinusoids. So liver is composed of, this liver is composed of some sinusoids. These venous systems are the sinusoids, and some parenchyma and some stroma. Now the development of these three parts of the liver from different sources. Here is an embryo of about 15 days old. This embryo has a thoracic cavity, the abdominal cavity, all are primitive, and there is yellow tube structure that is known as the primitive gut tube. This primitive gut tube has the proximal part, the foregut, the middle part, midgut, and the lower part, hindgut. The thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity of the embryo is separated through a transverse septum. This transverse septum is known as the septum transversum, from where the future diaphragm will develop. And in between the junction of foregut and midgut there is a bud. This is known as the liver bud. This liver bud or hepatic diverticulum, it has two parts. Here we can see there is the pars hepatica, the part of the hepatic bud, and here is the pars cystica, from where the gallbladder will develop. These pars hepatica remain within the septum transversum. You can see it. During the development of the liver, the proliferation of the pars hepatica occurs within this septum, and the part of the septum transversum enters into the liver and forms the fibrous stroma of the liver, and the parenchyma develops from this hepatic bud. This hepatic bud develops from the foregut. These are the endodermal origin, and the pars and the septum transversum is the mesodermal origin. So the fibrous part, the fibrous stroma is developed from this mesenchymal septum transversum and the parenchyma, is developed from the endodermal hepatic bud. Here we see the further development of the liver parenchyma. Here is the gallbladder, and is the final development of the liver and the gallbladder from the pars cystica. And the development of the sinusoids or venous system of the liver is from the vitelline vein. In the embryo, we can see the three types of the vein. One is the vitelline, another is the umbilical, and the cardinal vein of the embryo. All these veins are drained into the primitive heart. The vitelline vein is the part of the venous system of the embryo that drains the vein from the primitive gut tube. Here we see a close-up view of these three venous systems of the embryo. Here is the vitelline vein, here is the umbilical vein, and here is the cardinal vein. All these enter into this sinus venosus. And here we see the hepatic bud. The liver bud proliferate, and finally it occupies all the area. And here is the vitelline vein. This vitelline vein also remain within the liver parenchyma. When the vitelline vein remain within the liver parenchyma, they proliferate to form the hepatic sinusoids. Now the extrahepatic part of the vitelline vein. For this description, we can start from here. Here is the left vitelline vein, here is the right vitelline vein. And in this part, we can see here is the liver, here is the sinusoids within the liver, and here is the outside the liver. It is the right vitelline vein, it is the left vitelline vein, and there is an anastomosis between the left and right vitelline vein. Here, all are equal. Right and left vitelline vein are equal. With the time of development, there is a change in the left vitelline vein. We can see here the change of the left vitelline vein. Here is the right vitelline vein, it remains unchanged, and the left vitelline vein, we can see the anastomosis between left and right become prominent, and the proximal part from the anastomosis, they are becoming narrowing. Finally they disappear in the left side, we can see here. And this is the behind the development of the portal vein. And here we can see the duodenum, and here is the parts of the portal vein. Above the duodenum is the supraduodenal, behind the duodenum is the retroduodenal part, and inferior the duodenum is the infraduodenal part. And here we see the supraduodenal part forms from the right vitelline vein, and the retroduodenal part is the anastomosis between left and right, and the infraduodenal part is the solely the left vitelline vein. Here we can see this is the left vitelline, this is the anastomotic part, and this is the right vitelline vein, and the left vitelline vein, proximal part of the left vitelline vein finally disappears. So the development of portal vein, in summary, we can call that the portal vein is developed from the vitelline vein, both right and left. And right, this forms this part, this is the supraduodenal part, and the anastomosis behind the between the right and left forms the retroduodenal part. Here the retroduodenal part, and the distal part and the distal part of the left forms the infraduodenal part. This is the infraduodenal part. So it is now I think it is clear for you how this portal vein and duodenum is related, and all these structure developed embryologically.